Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Advocates for Angels Facebook Lives. I hope everybody had a fantastic summer, and here we are getting ready to go back to school. Lots of school districts are already back to school. Some are starting this week, and here we are in a new school year 2021 2022 school year. So, today I want to talk about diversity and inclusion of our children on an IEP. So, I just learned a couple weeks ago that CNUSD has moved one of their adult uh, transition program classes to a campus that is for troubled teens, and it's called Orange Grove. So, all of the Orange Grove schools are for children that have been expelled because they they broke a protocol or a procedure of the school district. That means that they either brought a weapon to school, they got into a fight, an altercation, and would cause physical harm to someone, or they were found with drugs, or they had too many suspensions. So when a child gets expelled from school, and especially if it is a weapon, a drug, or an altercation, they're sent to a school called Orange Grove, and this is in Southern California. Now, most school districts have an Orange Grove campus on their in their district somewhere. So if you can imagine, they placed an adult transition class. So what's an adult transition class? That's a class where kiddos after 12th grade, many children can stay in the local school district and continue their education until they're 22 years old, till their 22nd birthday. So it's a adult transition class, and it's typically on one of your typical high school campuses in the district. Well, they moved because one of my clients is in an adult transition class, and we learned that the new site of where that class is going to be housed is on the Orange Grove campus in CNUSD. So now let's think about this for a second, okay? So they're going to place adult kids with disabilities at a campus with troubled teens that have either brought a weapon to school, gotten an altercation, or was busted for drugs. Really? Really? So this campus doesn't have a field or a track. It's just one standing building. Some of them are actually lockdown facilities. I don't know if this one is, but a lot of them are lockdown facilities. So it doesn't look like a natural high school campus. So that's one thing to consider. So they're not being allowed to have the same opportunity as being around typical developing peers, number one, which is a complete violation of the least restrictive environment. It's placing those students at harm, being at risk of bullying, being at risk of being harmed by any of these kiddos or influenced by any of these kiddos. The campus is not a public campus. It's and so if that's, just think about that. That's where they're placing them. So what are the expectations that they have for these adult transition kids if they're placing them with the troubled teens? Pretty low expectations, right, guys? Pretty low expectations. So it's very alarming and troubling. And of course, my client, we transferred them from that site to a different site with a different adult transition class. So, and I'm pretty sure that most of those parents aren't even aware when they get the memo that says, "Oh, your child's going to go to Orange Grove campus. It's right over here, in the school district." They have no idea what kind of campus that is unless they research and investigate what kind of campus that is. So just think of the mentality of the school district. Who could possibly make that decision and determine that that's where they're going to put adults with disabilities? That's where they're going to place that class. It's really mind-boggling. So now I want to move on to a different subject, and it's really along the same vein. I opened with that because I'm talking about our children and diversity and inclusion, which means they have equal opportunities to be educated with typical or neurotypical developing peers. Okay, that is where our children should be. They should never be segregated or discriminated against, being placed in bizarre places like this, or being placed in the back of the school, or all of these situations that come about that we experience as parents when we have a child on an IEP. This happens all the time. So if we look at treating every child with dignity, what does that mean? So it means many things. First of all, we need to presume confidence, presume that um, they are capable, that they are capable of of being competent, that we don't have low expectations for them, that we don't think, oh, they can only reach this far and put ceilings on them, or that we don't expect them to do this or to that, or they can't or they never will be able to do this or that. So always presume competence. We need to focus on the strengths and their preferences, what they are interested in, what do they want to do, what do they want to learn, what are their needs, and then address those needs to enable them to do what they want to do in life. Whether it's, let me just say, IDEA is there to provide kids after high school, to leave high school, to be able to get gainful employment, go on to secondary education, and to live independently. Those three things. So, when they are moving through school, you look at their strengths and you build on their strengths, because you're thinking ahead and you're thinking of, where is this child going to go after high school? What kind of a job is this child going to get? Where are their strengths? What can we build upon to think ahead and think about competitive employment and what independence for the rest of their life after high school? So what are the desired outcomes of every individual student with the goals and what are their weaknesses, addressing their weaknesses, and looking at their deficits positively, not just harping and focusing and talking about what they can't do or what they're never going to do, but building on strengths. So behavior is communication. So, instead of looking at the kids that, oh, look, they have this behavior and that they have that behavior and this is disruptive to the classroom and this is a maladaptive behavior, when they have behaviors, that's a communication. They are communicating to us that they're telling us something. Either they like something, they don't like something, they're uncomfortable, they are not feeling like they're being supported. Behavior is communication. We want to provide choices for our kids throughout the school day. Choices where they're given, here, we're going to work on this or this. Which one would you like to choose? But both of them are, along the vein of what's being taught in the classroom. But then it gives them ownership of their education. It makes them feel like they are, a more of a sovereign being that isn't just being told what to do all day long and how to do it. Children need to understand, intrinsic value and feel that they are capable, feel that they're accomplishing, and feel that they are competent in completing their schoolwork too. And until they feel that way, they're going to continue to have behaviors. So, and it also plans for a student's future after high school. So every student on an IEP can receive an equal education and live a meaningful life. So every kiddo deserves to go to school and have an equal education, just like any neurotypical child. So those are the things I'd like you to start thinking about as we move forward in the new school year, and as we start having IEP meetings, as we start coming up against the problems that we experience as parents of a child at an IEP. Those are some really good start places to start thinking about looking at your child's IEP and start implementing some of this kind of mindset and thinking as you're developing your child's program for this school year. So thanks, guys, and I look forward to seeing you more often. I took a little break over the summer, and now we're ready to go again. So I'll see you soon, everyone. Take care and God bless.